Hi, I'm Barbara Rumkunis, and this is your Exeter History Minute. Off of Drinkwater Road in Exeter, just before the border with Kensington, there's a small body of water called Jude's Pond. It takes its name from a man who lived there in the early part of our nation's history. Jude Hall was born in Newmarket, sometime around 1750, and we're not sure of the exact date, enslaved to a man named Philemon Blake. There was slavery in New Hampshire. Blake later sold him to Nathaniel Healy. But when the Revolution broke out, Jude Hall ran away to join the Army, which was not segregated. He served for 7 years, fighting with the Continental Army at Bunker Hill, Ticonderoga, Trenton, Hubbardton, Saratoga, and Monmouth. He was discharged in 1783. Having earned his freedom, Jude Hall settled in Exeter, married Rhoda Paul, who was from a noteworthy free black family in town, and together they raised a large family. Now, we know very little about the everyday life of the family. Hall is described as a yeoman or land-owning farmer, but it's doubtful he was ever a wealthy farmer. Townspeople remember him as a powerfully strong man. When asked to describe his property to reapply for his military pension in 1820, he listed only one small one-story house with 2 rooms in it, a few plates of earthenware, a shovel and tongs, and a few other articles of small value. Of course, he may have been downplaying his assets just a bit. He was certainly trusted enough in town to appear in court as a witness to a murder in 1822. Now, it's important to note that all of Jude and Rhoda's children were born free, but that doesn't mean they were safe. 3 of the Hall's children would be captured into slavery. James Hall was only 18 when a local man named David Wedgwood claimed that he owed him $4. Bound and dragged out of the house in front of his mother, he was taken to the Newburyport jail where he was shipped to New Orleans and sold. Years later, another Exeter man saw him chained up in a New Orleans jail as a runaway. James Hall never made it back to Exeter. Another son, Aaron, went to sea out of Providence, Rhode Island. After the voyage, he went to settle his account with a clothing outfitter, only to discover that the $20 debt he thought he'd signed for was listed as $200. Realizing he'd been cheated, he tried to make his way home, but was overtaken in Roxbury, carried back to Providence, enslaved, sent to sea, and never heard from again. William, a third son, also went to sea and was kidnapped into slavery in the West Indies. He managed to escape after 10 years and made his way to England, where he became a captain of a coal ship from Newcastle to London. At least he managed to regain his freedom. 2 of Jude Hall's grandsons served in the Civil War, Moses and Aaron. Neither volunteered for service. They were both drafted. Maybe they hesitated because of their grandfather's experience in the Revolution. But fighting for freedom is an honorable endeavor. Men like Jude Hall believed they were building a better world, and even though that freedom was only granted conditionally and at the pleasure of those in power. So Moses and Aaron did serve and helped move the country forward, even if true equality still had a long journey ahead of it. Jude Hall lived out his days in Exeter, partially supported by his well-deserved Revolutionary War pension. He died in 1827. We don't exactly know where he's buried, maybe on his own property or maybe unmarked in the town cemetery. In any case, in 2000, a descendant of Philemon Blake, Hall's original owner, erected a memorial to Jude Hall in the Winter Street Cemetery to ensure that the town of Exeter doesn't forget or overlook this man who fought for his own and our nation's freedom. This History Minute is brought to you by PortsmouthNH.com. For more Exeter history, visit our website at www.exeterhistory.org.